It is time once again to use the power of spreadsheets and a very nerdy app to figure out the NFL playoff race in the NFC heading into Week 15. First up is easy, yet not easy. The Detroit Lions are officially in the playoffs and at 12-1 on an 11-game winning streak, so of course they aren't even a sure bet for their division. In fact, they can't even clinch it this week. Might come down to the final game against the Vikings. In the meantime, tough match this week against the Bills. Should be a fantasy player's dream. They did beat the Vikings earlier, so they can't lose the head-to-head tiebreaker. And they are 4-0 in the division, so they have a leg up on that as well. See where they are next week and whether we need to start looking at the common games tiebreaker. The Philadelphia Eagles are also officially in the playoffs after a lackadaisical victory over the Panthers, right behind the Lions at 11-2. But they can clinch their division this week. Show that in a moment. Host the Steelers this week before finishing with their division mates. And they will clinch the NFC East with a win and a Commanders loss. As usual, the calculations are from the Playoff Computer app. If you want to know exactly how things look in your leagues, whether they are fantasy or not, check it out on the Play Store. It has all sorts of geeky data, including the NFL-style paths to clinch. Returning to the NFC North, the Vikings continue to do enough to win on a 6-game streak, hanging around the Lions for the division. Mathematically, it's going to be tough to pull it off, but they just need one Lion stumble. They host the Bears this week and will be able to change their realistically in designation to being officially in with a win or a Rams loss or a Seahawks loss. Staying in the NFC North, the Green Bay Packers suffered a loss to the Lions to just about end any division hopes. Still technically in it, but highly unlikely. As for nabbing a playoff spot, should just need one more win to get to the projected safe mark of 10 wins. Travel to Seattle this week. They do have a path to secure a spot this week, which is a win and a 49ers loss and a Falcons loss. If you enjoy all the details of this playoff race stuff and want to support this fledgling channel, likes, subscribes, and even pizza-fueled energy through Buy Me a Coffee are all most appreciated. With the Vikings and Packers the front runners for wildcard spots, the Washington Commanders are the ones with the target on their back for the hopefuls to try to take out. Came out of their bye, 8-5, 3-4 chances to make the playoffs. Should just need 2 more wins. Get the injury-ravaged Saints this week. A win would really boost their chances as it would further improve their decent conference record. The Seattle Seahawks have won 4 in a row and are still leading the NFC West by a hair. They are now up to 6-10 chances to win the division and about 7-10 to make the playoffs. Looks like the division might come down to them and the Rams, and that is their last game of the year. As for now, they join the NFC North for 3 games. Packers up first. Keep in mind, if they falter, the Rams already beat them once and would have the chance to sweep the season series. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers continue the rise, and by beating the Raiders for the 3rd win in a row, they are the new leaders of the NFC South. Basically just a half-game lead over the Falcons, as if they end up tied, Atlanta wins the tiebreaker since they swept the season series. Currently, Buccaneers about 6-10 to win the division and 2 of 3 to make the playoffs. Looks like 3-1 to finish up would propel them in, maybe 2-2, and some things falling their way, namely the Falcons continuing to fall off the cliff. They do have a tough game against the Chargers this week, so there is a chance for the division to become chaos. As mentioned, the Atlanta Falcons have been grounded as of late, losers of 4 straight, watching their near certainty to make the playoffs become about 1 in 3 chances and almost totally relying on winning the NFC South. Now, fortunately for them, easiest rest of schedule on paper, Raiders and Giants up next, so an excellent chance to take the division lead right back. The Los Angeles Rams with the offensive explosion over the Bills to keep pace with the Seahawks. As mentioned, they play the Seahawks to finish the season, and if they are still within 1 game of them, that game will be for the division. In the meantime, a chance to knock the remaining life of the 49ers out. Still likely need to get to 10 wins. Wildcard odds are slim if they don't win the division, as they have a head-to-head loss versus the Packers, which is about the only team they could catch. The San Francisco 49ers beat the Bears to keep slim hopes alive, but at 6-7, the worst division record in the NFC West, a loss to the Packers hanging over their tiebreaker heads, it all adds up to just 9% to make the playoffs, and they are considered realistically out. As the computer says, while 10 wins would give them a decent shot, it mathematically wouldn't be probable for them to make it. Have the Rams this week to at least keep the faint hope alive. The New Orleans Saints with a win and the Falcons loss are still technically alive in the NFC South, although it is unlikely. Winning out would at least give them a shot. Have the Commanders and Packers now, and with their quarterback situation, I wouldn't say the winning out is very likely. The Jekyll and Hyde Arizona Cardinals have been more Jekyll as of late, losing 3 straight, and have fallen from the perch to being just 6% chances and are considered realistically out. Poor conference record isn't going to play well outside the division. They do have the Patriots and Panthers to maybe get back to over 500 and be 8-7 heading into the last 2 with the Rams and 49ers, so not completely dead yet. The Dallas Cowboys are now realistically out as well after bungling the game against the Bengals. Would need to win out and get several miracles. They will be officially out with a loss and a Commanders win. The Chicago Bears' disappointing season will be officially forfeit with a loss or a Commanders win. The Carolina Panthers are still mathematically alive for the NFC South, and with that division, I ain't saying anything is impossible, although it would be officially impossible with a loss or a Buccaneers win or a Falcons win. The New York Giants remain the lone NFC team officially eliminated. That's it for now in the NFC. Enjoy your day.